Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a traditional Usui Reiki master teacher, a holistic life coach, and a certified yoga teacher. In this class, we are going to cover a lot of ground. We are going to go deep into the self to really understand our purpose on earth. And I understand that might sound a little out there, but it's actually quite simple. Our purpose on earth is to heal and to awaken. And so the human energy system is designed to manifest experiences, positive or negative, conscious or unconscious, so that we learn the lessons that we are here to learn while we are on this earth. And so everything that you do really matters, because every action, every word, even every thought creates an imprint in your energy system. Ever since we were born, and actually before that, any past lifetime, since you were created as a spirit, you have been moving either towards fear or towards light and love. Every action, every choice that you make, every thought that you have moves you either up or down. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of peel away the layers and say, okay, so if that's the case, what do I do? And how do I make sure that I make the choices that move me in the right direction? And to do that, we kind of have to understand where we have been. We have to see where we are, not just externally and what you have accomplished externally, but internally. Who have you become through the experiences that you have had in your life? And so one of the main goals of this program is to establish a daily practice. Now that is going to be different for everyone, and in that session I will give you some suggestions as to what a practice should look like and what kind of practice you should choose depending on your personality and your lifestyle and many other factors. In addition to that, we are going to kind of deal a little bit with why you function the way you function. So we might be aware that there's maybe fear or resentment or certain roles that we play, like maybe we play victim and we think that we are victims to our situation or our life or other people, or maybe you have anger issues or depression or anxiety. And we're going to look at that not just from a perspective of your trauma and past experiences and what somebody did to you and the mistakes you made and all of that stuff. Yes, we will explore that, but it's more important to go deeper than that and get to know yourself as a spirit. How does this show up in other facets of your life? Because the way that we do something is the way that we do everything. So you will be surprised how unconscious negative patterns affect so many things, because they affect your perception. So we are not seeing clearly. We are perceiving things based on what our energy system wants them to be, so that we can continue to feed the dysfunction. And so if that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, maybe rewind a second, try again, but just stay tuned. We're going to talk about that in one of the sessions as well. We're also going to talk about how to manage fear and resistance and why it is that we experience fear and resistance when we are trying to change. You see, the mind likes what's familiar. It likes perceived safety. And even though spirit wants to heal, the mind doesn't really want to change. And so when there's conflict between what you want from your heart and what your mind thinks is possible, you actually, not only are you losing energy, but you are also creating situations and relationships and work and jobs that feed that conflict. And so you stay asleep and you stay distracted with so many things to do and so many things to accomplish. And maybe you're a doer like me, like I'm a doer. I like to just get things done. And oftentimes I just do what my mind thinks I should do, not necessarily what feels right in my heart. My intuition might even tell me something, and I have to work so hard to get my mind to catch up to what my spirit's guiding me to do. It sounds easy, but it really isn't. And we need to be real if we're going to actually change that pattern. So you might have an intuition, or maybe a very clear idea of what it is that your spirit wants to heal and improve, but you might not be able to get your mind to catch up. And then what happens is the body gets stuck in the middle. And that's when you end up with back pain and neck pain and shoulder pain and digestive issues, because there's simply not enough energy flowing through the body, because your mind and spirit are in conflict and you're not living wholeheartedly. So health, true physical health, comes from having enough energy in the system to let the body function properly. But if you're not there, if you are leaking energy, or if you are preventing energy from flowing into your system because of unconscious or maybe conscious inner resistance, then you are going to be limited as of what you can heal physically, mentally, and emotionally. We're going to talk about triggers and what to do when you feel emotions come up. Why so many emotions, and what do you do with them, and how do you use them productively? By the time you're done with this course, I want you that every time that you get upset or nervous or angry, you almost smile, because you recognize it as an opportunity to dig deep and see what it is about you, because it really has nothing to do with the external world. The mind wants to think so, and the mind will get hooked into an external situation to feed the energy, and creates this negative loop. It's like negative energy, negative thoughts, more negative energy, more negative energy, more and negative thoughts, until you stop and take responsibility for both your energy and your thoughts. A lot of times coaches and teachers, work from a mental perspective. They'll have affirmations and have you look in the mirror, and that's helpful to a degree. And I'm not dismissing the progress that can be made through those exercises. But true unconditional love means that you see yourself clearly, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you're willing to put it all on the table and really get to work on whatever it is that you need to be working on. And so we're going to dig deep, and we're going to try and figure out what it is that your spirit wants to heal and improve. Because what you think you want externally is not what you really want internally. And the only way to change both internally and externally is to learn to live in the present moment, which is not a new concept. I'm sure you've heard of this, but we're going to really understand what that means, because the present moment has a momentum of past energy patterns. You are not experiencing what you're experiencing for no reason. You're experiencing it because in the past, this lifetime or previous lifetimes, your spirit has been operating in this way. And so if you want to change, creating changes in your external reality is not going to be enough. You have to create changes internally. Now, if and when you do create those changes internally, then your external reality will change. So they work together. The difference in working with me is that we are going in order to go out. I'm not going to ask you, what do you want to do in 5 years and 10 years or next week? I'm going to keep you in the next 90 days in the present moment, exploring your inner self. And when your inner self is in alignment, it's not that plans are not necessary. Plans are still necessary, but you live synchronistically and you go with the flow, and intuitively you will know what you need to do next, because what you think you want now might not be what you actually want once the system has healed for real. So your external purpose will change, and if you need to create a job or live an unhealthy relationship, we will definitely be working on all of that, but with the purpose of improving internally. And so there will be a different level of consciousness to this reality that we are trying to create together, because you're not going to be looking at it from a place of craving and wanting to be somewhere and at a certain place. We are going to be looking at it from the internal spiritual perspective of, is this really going to serve you to improve your spirit? Because oftentimes it's actually the other way around. You might have been working in a dysfunctional way for a long time, and what you think you want and the direction that you want to go to might actually make the problem worse instead of making it better, because you haven't stopped to think, what is it that I want internally? What is it that who do I want to become? And so the old, momentum and energies from the past, actions, decisions, choices, the way that you function is just carrying on and projecting into the future more and more and more of the same. Well, if it hasn't been working for you until now, why on earth would it work for you going forward if you don't stop and think and see clearly? So what I provide is a sacred environment for you to do this introspection. I am a neutral mirror, I'm a guide, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher. I want you to come up with these answers from within, but I will not be shy in showing you different perspectives and different perceptions of reality. And speaking of reality, we have to also realize that we live in the world, and therefore we are plugged into the collective consciousness, and we are also plugged into the ancestral consciousness of wherever you were born into, whatever family you were born into. And you are also being held back, if that's the term. Let's change that. You are also being influenced by the people around you, their energy and their perceptions. And as you try to change, as you try to move away from fear and towards light and love, things are going to come up. And you might have some unhappy customers. You might need to retrain some of the people in your life to relate to this new, more confident and awake self that can set boundaries and speak truthfully and live in peace and no longer gets triggered by their drama and their dysfunction. So I'm going to give you very, very practical advice and perspectives on how to deal with the people around you, your friends, your family, your coworkers, so that as you go through this journey, you become this beacon of light that everyone wants to be. Like, everyone talks about bringing light and joy into their life and the people around them. Well, in order to do that, you have to live there first, and you have to love yourself so much and so unconditionally that you can then, from that place, love everyone else just the same. And once you are at that place, I have to tell you, the only thing left to do is to serve and to teach. And we all have different paths and different roles that we are here to fulfill on this earth. When our spirits come to this earth, they come with a mission, they come with a vision as of not only what we want to achieve, but also what we want to give to others. And so how do you use your gifts in a way that truly serves to awaken those around you? You will be surprised how many stories from hundreds of students I have heard who their entire life is just more peaceful, and when they fix their dysfunction, they feel the difference in those around them, and they begin to change. Not because you're trying to manipulate, control, or change anybody but yourself, but because you stop interacting with the dysfunction, and then you can truly be a beacon of light into your home, to your children, to your partners, to your friends, family, and coworkers, and to your clients and students and whomever you serve as your chosen career and profession. And so we're going to go into all of that a little bit at a time. It's going to be a slow and steady and wonderful and enlightening journey, and I look forward to walking the path with you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for choosing to join this program. I appreciate your support as I fulfill my life's purpose of helping others awaken the way that I have with the help of my teacher. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.